So, speaking of grounding, let's get the feet hip-width distance apart, the toes facing forward, and start to feel all four corners of your feet connected to the earth here. And then feel your toes from your big toe to your pinky on each side also connected to the mat. The legs are nice and strong, shoulders are back, palms are forward, ears are over shoulders. And we breathe. And just close your eyes for a moment. Find that space within. And just breathe into the knowing of your own body, your own needs. And then take a nice exhale, pressing belly button to spine. And as we inhale, we're going to take the breath in a big circle all around, forward, side, back. And exhale, soften everything. And then inhale into that big circle again, and now also to the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes, and the crown of the head. Open everything up. And exhale. And one more time, nice big breath all around. There's forward, back, and sides. Up and down, and release. Okay, so we're just going to let the knees and hips bend slightly, put the hands on the thighs, and work our cats and cows from here. Arch and shine your heart forward, round and gaze towards your lap. Arch and forward, and we're not throwing the head forward and back. We're rolling through the spine, taking the gaze forward, taking the gaze toward the lap. Just a small movement here, and now the next time you're gazing towards your lap, just roll up, roll your shoulders back a few times, especially back we want to go. And just a couple of times forward. And shake everything out. Okay, so we are going to start moving side to side and also adding a little rotation with that, a little circle. So take your arms up and crisscross overhead, holding opposite elbow. Okay, the feet are still planted, and we're going to keep the feet nice and grounded. Tilt gently, gently, gently to the left. And up, and tilt gently, gently, gently to the right. Okay, now we're going to go left and right a few more times to warm things up, noticing what's happening in the side body. Where is that point where it feels like you belong, right? Not a point where you're like, oh, wait a minute, I've gone too far, I need to, start making my posture wonky. Just stay nice and upright, side to side. And now we're going to add some circles here. So take yourself back over to the left, and gently, we're not going too deep right now, gently circle around to the left and around to the left once more. And then take yourself over to the right and around to the right in a circle and around to the right once more. Now we're going to go back over to the left, make sure that right leg is still planted, and see how it feels on the side. And come on up and take it over to the right. Keep that left foot planted and see how everything's feeling. And just take it up and release, shake things out. All right, we're going to start with the hands by our side, but kind of away, so we can start to move side to side, right leg back, a little beginning curtsy lunge here, and left leg back. And so eventually the knees will start bending a little more and a little more, and your hand might start going a little closer to the earth. This is you. Okay, so if this is you, you're going to stay here, right? If this is you, you're going to stay here. And then the next time you draw your right foot back over to the left, wherever you are, just hang out there for a moment. And take your right foot out, left foot back, go to where you were going, hang out there for a moment, and come back center and shake it out. All right, now we're going to come back to mountain pose. Inhale and exhale. All right, so the body's a little more warmed up now. So we're going to come to the top of the mat, and we'll be working on a high crescent lunge, and it's a balance, right? So we're going to make sure that the feet are hip width distance apart to start with. The feet are grounded, okay? The mind is calm, and we have a spot to gaze at that isn't moving. All right, you can put your hands on your hips for now. Slide the right leg back, bend your left knee, right heel is up. Moving into high crescent lunge, draw your arms to shoulder height, and then up if that works for you, arms up. Okay, now we're going to, I'll show you from the front, we're going to bend the elbows out to the side and bend that right knee. Go down and up, down and up, down and up, and down and up, and step together. Okay, so this time it's the left leg going back. Heel is up. We're moving into high crescent lunge. We're magnetizing the hips toward each other, okay, just for a little more stability. Arms up, and we go down and up, down and up. You don't have to go too far right now. We're going to see this move again, similar in our sun salutation. Down and up, down and up. And then step to the top of your mat and shake things out. Okay, so here's where you will want the block and the strap to be nearby. So take a second, have those. We're also going to be doing a little bit of low crescent lunge, so make sure that you have extra padding for your knees if you like that. Remember, you can always flip up the edge of your mat. We'll be getting to that in a little bit here. All right, so here we go. The feet are hip width distance. We're going to be working our way to seated. Float the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Folding from the hip creases with a long spine. Your hands might touch your thighs and stay there. You might be touching your shins, and that's your forward fold right now. You might be touching the mat. Anywhere that you are is where you belong right now, all right? Bend your knees, hands to the thighs, shine your heart forward, and then start to sink the hips down and walk back to a downward facing dog. So we're coming into down dog here, and we're going to bend one knee and then the other, alternate. And press one heel down and hold. Press the other heel down and hold. Really thinking about giving those feet a good massage, and press both heels down and hold. Now we're going to very mindfully bring the knees down so they come to the mat at the same time, and sit off to the side in seated mountain pose. Flex the feet and sit up nice and tall. All right, so we're going to review Dhyana Mudra to get ourselves a little set for practice here. Left palm up, right palm rests on top, thumbs touch, spine is long, seated mountain pose. Arms are comfortable here, we're not trying to hold them up or anything. And close your eyes and tap into your inner knowing so that can guide your practice. Keep your eyes open. Give everything a nice little shake. Inhale and exhale. Alrighty, so we are going to move to the core, and we're going to do some toe taps. So the block is nearby. We're not going to use it yet. We're going to lay down on the mat here. The hands are still by the side, and the knees are in tabletop. Okay? Now you're going to be taking, starting on the right, toe taps down, knee comes back to tabletop. Toe taps down, knee to tabletop. Toe up. Left, up. Right, up, and left, up. Okay, hug it in for a moment. Everybody okay with that? Let's work on the heel now. Okay, so for the heel, the leg is actually going to extend. For the toe, the leg stayed more in a 90-degree position. Okay, so go ahead and flex both feet. Kind of extend your leg a little bit. Heel taps down, knee up. Heel taps down, knee up. We're not taking the leg completely straight, but it taps down and up. So these are heel taps. All right, one more on the left, finish up, bring it in, and rock around a little side to side. Okay, now we're going to take the block and put it underneath. So of course the block is optional. If you're already feeling from the top of this block like, I don't want to be here, remove the block. Let's see if how the toe taps feel to you with this. Knees to tabletop, tap right and up and left and up. If you already don't like this, remove the block. If you're okay, keep going side to side, right and left. Next time you've gone left, just come knees back to tabletop, whether you're on the block or off the block. Okay, now we're going to go heel taps. And again, right heel and up, left heel and up, right and up and left and up, it's right and left and right and left, right. Okay, we're going to do one more set, right and left. And bring it in, bring your feet to the mat, lift off your block if you're still on one, and replace your hips to the mat, put the block off to the side. Inhale and exhale. All right. Raise one leg and wiggle it at me if you felt that in your core. Did you feel that in your core? Okay, good. Let's go ahead and take it down. All right, so now we're going to move into the obliques here. Okay, so we're going to take the hands up, both arms straight up. Press the palms together. Now this already takes some energy, just keeping the palms together. That's why we do this instead of interlacing. We've got the energy flowing through the arms just to keep the palms together. Raise your shoulders and head and take two hands over to the right and come back through center and raise up two hands to the left. That's the move, right? Now we can add on. Take two knees to tabletop. Raise up, hands to the right and down, hands to the left and down. Okay, you can go back to the feet down if you prefer that. We're going to add one more option. Hands to the right, left leg extends and back. Hands to the left, right leg extends and back. So whichever one you're doing, okay, side to side, feet down, knees up with leg extension. The important part is the control. Okay, stay in control of this move here. We're not flinging our body around side to side. We're using our obliques. And isn't that just wonderful? And side to side. And side to side. Now the next time your hands are over to your right and your left leg is extended, then just go ahead and raise and lower that left leg 4 times. 3, 2, and 1. And come back to center. Hands left, right leg extends, and we go up. And 2. Yes, 3. Good, and 4, and hug it in. Rock it out. Inhale and exhale. All right, that was a nice little warm up for the hips too, but now we're actually going to do a little more to open the hips. So come on up to seated. Nice easy seat here. All right. We're going to bring the hands to the heart and then leaning back, raising one foot and then the other, arms overhead. Okay. So we're going to have the right ankle in front, palms forward, inhale, exhale, hands to the mat, gaze past your fingertips. Inhale, arms up, left ankle in front of right, and take it down. And we're going up, switch. Now the right ankle's in front, and we take it down. Take it up. You can always keep your feet on the mat and just switch this way. Okay, that's always an option. Up, switch, and down. Okay, now the next time your arms are up and you're getting ready to switch your right ankle in front of your left, stay there with your right ankle in front of your left. Just join us when you're done. Yes, okay, inhale and exhale, and we're going to turn the palms forward since we warmed up the hips. Now we take it down, palms to the mat, and we stay here. Press your palms into the mat, look up, and then as you exhale, let your fingers wiggle forward a little bit. Any amount, say hello to your right hip. Now press your palms into the mat, shine your heart forward a bit, and walk your hands 2 steps over to the right. Inhale, look up, exhale. See if those fingers want to move any farther forward while keeping your left hip grounded still. Walk your hands back through center and over to the left. Press your palms into the mat. Look up, exhale to the left, keeping the right hip grounded. And come back through center. Press your palms, look up, inhale, and exhale. See if those fingertips are ready to wiggle any farther forward. Keeping the arms long, arms overhead, feet up. And we take the left ankle in front of the right. Now, think about your posture right now. Is your spine nice and long as you reach up? Are you hunched over? Keep the spine nice and long. Inhale, palms forward. Exhale, left ankle is in front, hands down. Press the palms into the mat, look up, inhale, exhale, melt forward, wiggling the fingers any amount that they are prepared to go. Now look up and take both hands over to the left. Inhale, and as you exhale, extend those fingertips any amount. Come back through center and over to the right, still keeping the left hip grounded. Inhale, exhale, wiggle the fingertips forward. And then bring your hands back to center, press your palms into the earth, shine your heart forward, and as you exhale, wiggle your fingers forward, see where you go. Okay, with long arms, we're bringing it up, bring the feet up, uncross, and come to seated here. You can wiggle out your legs for a moment, inhaling and exhaling. All right, so from here, we're going to move into our tabletop. Knees under hips. Okay, so here's where you might want some padding for those knees. That would be great. You might want your arms a little farther forward. You might want to even do this from standing. We're going to be doing a knee down wild thing, okay? So we'll take it in stages. So take your right leg up, hip height behind you, point the toe, lift the right leg, bend the right knee, and start to open that right hip. Just for now, all we're doing, open the right hip, and then bring it back around and right knee down. We're taking the left leg back, point the toe, bend the knee, and open the left hip. And release, left knee down. And that's great. That is a fine place to stay. You can just continue doing that. Okay, if you want to take it a little farther, option, right leg back, bend the knee, open the right hip. Now let the right foot land behind your left leg and take your left arm up. Well, take your right arm up. Yep. And then come back to center. And we'll do that on the left. The left leg is back, knee bends, open the hip. That left foot may come all the way down to the mat or not. And your front arm comes up. And release. All right. We're going to, so that's the knee down wild thing, okay? And we're just going to take the body forward and back a little bit, preparing for a nice little child's pose. So just take your hips forward and back, and then when you're ready, come into child's pose here. So your arms might be long in front, they might be to your feet, right? You guys know variations of child's pose are always acceptable, whatever's right for you, just resting. And then float your way into a downward facing dog. Feel yourself nice and balanced, 2 hands and 2 feet. And we're going to journey the feet to the hands any way you like. You might want to do hippity hops, you might want to take a couple of big steps, a bunch of small steps, whatever you want. When you get to the top of your mat, hands to the thighs, half lift. Exhale into a straight leg forward fold. Remember, that could be high, low, anywhere in between. Now your feet are super grounded, your upper body super light, and as you inhale, float the arms out and up, palms touch, and hands come heart center, and release. Okay, so we are going to, remember we did the high crescent lunge, and we're going to see it again in sun salutation. It's going to challenge the balance a bit the way we're going to do it. So let's warm the body up for some balance. Grab your block. Take your feet hip width distance. And we're just going to start with the feet grounded, right? Everything in alignment. Close your eyes. So see what happens when you close your eyes, right? We know that the eyes really help with balance, but now we're seeing what kind of challenges it might bring to close the eyes. Keeping the breath soft. All right. So now let's do that with a block on our heads. Put the block on top of your head. And then carefully bring your hands down by your side. Feel yourself in mountain pose. And close your eyes. And then just blink your eyes open, but keep the block there, okay? And we're going to float the arms up and out to the side. So we're moving now, okay? And float them down. Good. Now we're going to challenge the balance, hands to the hips. Lift the right heel. Take it down and lift the left heel. And take it down. Now see what happens when you move from heel to knee. If that's you today. Heel to knee. And bring it down. And see what happens on the other side. Heel to knee. And bring it down. Uh-oh. So this is not a, woo! So the blocks are staying in position like they're glued to your head. Let's try and take, except for mine, of course, let's try and take the knee up and the arms out to the side in one nice smooth movement. Right knee up, arms out. And down. And left knee up, arms out. And down. All right, that was all done with eyes open. Let's go ahead and close the eyes one more time. Right heel up, right knee. Oh yeah, even arms I see. Okay, knee and arms. Good, bring it down. Okay, let's try it on the left. Left heel up. Left knee and arms with the eyes closed. And release. All right, shake it out, put the block off to the side. So you've given your body some clues that it's going to, things it's going to need to do to stay in balance, right? So let's come to the top of the mat. We're going to be starting with a low crescent lunge. So make sure if you want, and have your strap nearby if you want it for bow. So remember, in bow, we'll be laying on the mat, grabbing our heel with our ankle with our hand. So just have it nearby. It's better have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Feet are hip width distance here. Inhale and exhale. Okay. So let's float the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive over those hip creases, nice and long. Keeping the hips over the ankles, feeling those hamstrings. Come into your half lift, shine the heart forward, sink the hips down, bring the hands down, and step back with the right leg coming into that lunge. Enjoying some movement in the lunge. You might even go like forward and back, so bend the left knee and straighten it. And then go ahead and bring your right knee down. It should be behind your hip. We're in low crescent lunge here. Bring the arms up. So low crescent lunge with the arms up. Now we're going to bring both hands down, one on either side of the left foot. Leave the right hand down, and as you lift your left arm, lift your right knee. And then bring the hand down and come into plank. If you're going knee down plank, knees are down. If you're going knee up plank, you just slide your left leg back. Nice strong chaturanga here. Keeping the spine long, using those arms. Yes, good. All right, and now we're going to go for the bow, right? So we're going to start with our right leg. Your left arm is parallel to the top of the mat. Your right leg bends, and reach back and see if you find your right ankle with your right hand. If not, you can take your strap around your ankle and reach it that way. Press your left forearm into the mat and shine your heart forward. Yeah. Sometimes that right leg might even lift up if you've got that flexibility in your psoas right now. Release. And we're going to do that on the other side. So your right arm is parallel to the top of the mat. Your left leg bends. You reach around. Find your left ankle, either with the strap or without. And press into the right forearm. Look forward. You're in half bow. And release. All right. We're going to get to full bow option the next time. So let's go ahead and come into downward facing dog here. So coming into down dog, and we're going to do that partial flip dog. So take the right leg up, bend the knee, open the right knee. Now look under your left arm and see if you spot your right foot back there. Just wiggle your foot at yourself, wave high, and reach, come back around. Take your right foot forward and your left knee down, coming into low crescent lunge. Once again, arms up, hands down. This time the left hand stays on the mat, back toes tuck, and left knee lifts as you're open to the right. Bring your hand down and engage your whole body. Take a big step forward. Back foot meets front, half lift, forward fold, and float the arms out and up, palms touch. And hands come heart center. All right. I hope I was right on the right and left there. I turned around and got myself a little bit mixed up there. So, but you know which leg we're working on, right? Okay. We're going to do a similar thing now on the left. Okay. So this is where the high crescent lunge will come in. Okay. The feet are hip width distance. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale into your swan dive. Hands to the thighs, half lift. Sink the hips down, hands down, left leg back. And just move into that lunge. Maybe straightening and bending the right knee also. Get a little motion in that way here. All right, now the left knee is going to come down. The toes are tucked, arms are up. You're in low crescent lunge, right? But we want to come to high crescent lunge. So carefully start lifting your back knee. If this doesn't work for you, then just put the hands down. Now carefully bring the knee down, hands down, and come into your plank. So you see how that was like what we were doing earlier with the up and down knee and the crescent lunge? It was kind of a warm-up for that. Okay, hands under the shoulders, nice strong chaturanga, take it down. All right, if you had an easy grasp in the bow earlier, bend both knees and see if you can find both ankles. If it was a challenge to find one ankle at a time, then start with your right, come into bow with the left forearm forward. And everybody release. And if you're going into full bow, once again, both hands around both ankles. Otherwise, the right forearm is parallel with the top of the mat, left knee is bending, and we reach back to find the left ankle. And release. Okay, let's release the spine for a moment here. Make a pillow with your hands, bend the knees, and Let the legs move side to side. Little spinal release here. Bring the feet down, hands under the shoulders, and find your way to downward facing dog. Down dog here. Yep. So we're going to make sure we're nice and balanced in the down dog. Then take the left leg up, rebalancing. Bend the left knee, open the left hip, okay? And look under the right arm to spot your left foot back there. And come around. Let's see, yeah, we need to take a big step forward with the left foot, right knee down, and come into low crescent lunge here. Low crescent lunge. Okay, same thing as last time. Tuck the toes and lift into high crescent lunge. All right, bring the hands down. Keep the knee up, the back knee. Engage the whole body and take a big step forward. Take a half lift, forward fold, and float the arms out and up, palms touch. Good, and hands come heart center. Inhale and exhale. So we're going to find mountain pose here. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, so let's shake everything out, see how that all felt. Okay, so we've given the body several balance challenges here. And, yep, we did the bow crescent with knee lunge. Okay, all right. And now we're going to work in our warrior two pose. So go ahead and take the legs wide and turn the right toes forward. Bend the right knee. So knee over ankle, otherwise widen your legs. If the knee is going far forward, you can take a wider stance. Let's find the balance in those feet here. Inhale and exhale. And arms out for a nice warrior two. We're going to get super grounded in warrior two. Calmly gazing past the right fingertips here. And now clasp the hands behind you. Okay, I'm going to turn around so you can see. Right toes are forward, hands are clasped behind you. Turn towards your right leg if you're not still there. Inhale, shine your heart up, and as you exhale, drop your right shoulder towards your right knee. Okay, if it works for you, go ahead and take your arms up away from the spine. And then bring your hands back to the spine. Lift into warrior two. Still steady in the lower body. Arms out, gazing past your right fingertips. Bring your hands to your hip bones, your index fingers into your hip creases, all 10 toes forward here. And we're just going to go halfway or less if you feel like you prefer to go less is okay too. Okay, the hips are over the ankles here. Inhale and exhale, and come on up. Okay, we're going to try that humble warrior to the left. So the legs are wide, left toes forward, left knee bends, and remember it's tracking through the center of the left foot as well. Shoulders over hips, arms out. Inhale and exhale. Gazing calmly past the left fingertips. And now clasp your hands behind you, turn toward your left leg. Inhale, and as you exhale, take your left shoulder toward your left knee and take those arms off the spine, any amount, right? This is between you and your shoulders. Bring your hands back to your spine and carefully lift up. Return to warrior two. And then bring your hands to your hips. And now we're going to take the legs with all 10 toes forward, okay? We're going to start bending one knee and then the other, moving the body side to side. And you might start to go a little deeper. You might take your arms out. Okay, you do what feels great for you right now. And we're going to come all the way over to the left, stay here, and try and lift those right toes. And then come over to the right, stay here, and carefully lift the left toes. And come back to center, hands to the hips, once again, lift up, inhale and exhale, heel toe the feet, and shake them out. All right, do you still have your blocks handy? Yes, everybody does. Okay, take your block, put it on your head, take your legs wide. Okay, eventually we're going to let go of this block. All right, the legs are wide, and we're going to take the arms out to the side. Now we want to make sure we keep the upper body nice and in the same plane as we go side to side. So we're really just moving from the legs. And let's come a little deeper to the right and a little deeper to the left. Oh man, and come center, hands down, and see if you can heel toe your feet together and keep the block on top. Is there nothing that can be done to make this group drop your block? Let's take it off and put it off to the side. Yay! All right, that was awesome. Inhale and exhale. All righty, so we're going to start to work our way back down and spend some time on the earth. So let's go ahead. Oh, and speaking of blocks, we'll do a supported back bend here. So have your block nearby. Feet are hip-width distance apart. We're going to float the arms up, inhale, and take a nice forward fold here. Inhale and exhale. Come to a half lift, sink the hips, and come into downward facing dog. And just move through your down dog, right? Just look for any stuck spots. Wiggle the hips if you want. Then bring the knees down and even come to kneeling and just shake out the arms. Just move around any way that feels good to you here. And go ahead and sit off to the side. Come into seated mountain pose. Yeah, if we're still moving around feeling jiggy, then go ahead and do that for a few more moments. That's always fine too. Let's come into seated mountain pose and take your Dhyana Mudra. All right. So officially, Dhyana Mudra, left palm up, right palm rest on top, thumbs are touching. And let's shake things out and release that. Okay, so we're going to move into the Janu Sirsasana here. All right, so let's go ahead and take that right foot to the left thigh. If this is a lot for the knee, the right foot could be lower on the leg. Okay, your left leg is long, the foot is flexed, the left leg is reaching out from the hip. Okay, extended from the hip, toes and knee up toward the sky. Okay, so we're going to turn and face that left leg and have the hands one on either side of the left leg. Inhale, and with a long spine, just start to walk the hands forward. So we're not dropping ourselves forward, we're moving ourselves forward, right? Sometimes we take the arms up and reach. This time, we're just paying attention to the whole journey here. How far do your hands want to go? Inhale and exhale. And when you get to your edge, just stay there and breathe into it. There's no need to force. We are just doing. And then start to walk your hands back up. Okay. Now we're going to help the right knee up. Have the right foot, one hand's width distance away from the left leg. Okay. Bring your left hand to the outside of the right leg. Take your right arm up and bring your hand back by your hip with a nice long spine. Twist. So we're not using the left hand to tug, we're just twisting to the right with a long spine. On your exhale, take your gaze toward your right shoulder. And then on your next exhale, take your gaze to the left. And take your gaze back over to the right. And then release, unwind. Take your right leg forward and give both legs a nice little shake. We're doing the left side. So left foot to the thigh, could be the calf if that's better for your knee. The right leg is extending out from the hip. The right toes and knee are face up. Inhale. Hands one on each side of your right leg with a nice long spine. Gently start to walk forward. Stay engaged with the whole process. Right foot is flexed, gazing toward your right toes. Spine is long. Yeah. Maybe you found your foot, and so go there if that's you. Don't hold yourself back. Inhale and exhale. And then walk your hands back. One hand under the left knee, take the left knee up, have some space, like a hand's width, in between the left foot and the right thigh. Once again, that foot could be closer to the calf if the knee prefers a more open position here. Right hand outside the left leg, left arm up and back by your hip. Inhale, and without tugging, twist to the left. On your exhale, take your gaze toward your left shoulder. On your next exhale, gaze to the right. And on your next exhale, take your gaze back over to the left. And then unwind, release, take both legs forward and give them a nice little shake. Inhale and exhale. Okay, we're going to roll our way down and start to move into a supported back bend. So we've got the block here. Take it down. Feet are hip width distance, knees are bent. Lift your hips and slide the block under on the first edge, just like we were at the beginning of class when we were doing toe taps. But now we're just here in a supported back bend. Inhale and exhale. Now if you feel like you have more space, you can take your feet to the toes and take your block up to its second side. You can stay here. If you have more space, you can take your block to its third side. If you're on your third side, bring the block back down to the second side. And if you're on the second side, turn the block back down to its first side. Inhaling and exhaling. All right, you can come off the block if you wish, or take the legs up for Viparita Karani on the block. So we've got the legs straight up, unless you get migraines or have glaucoma or high blood pressure, then either bend your knees or even keep your feet down, okay? Or even if you just feel like this is just too much blood to the head, then just go ahead and keep your feet down, okay? And we're going to start to work the ankles. So if your feet are down, just take your right leg up and start to point and flex. If you're in Viparita Karani, point and flex both feet. If you're working on your right side only, go ahead, everybody circle the ankles, one direction and the other. If you're working one side, switch to the left, and we're all going to do that again. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, and circle, one direction and the other. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring the feet down to the mat, lift off the block, replace the spine on the mat, and just chill here, okay? So we're going to let the spine be in neutral. Take your hands out away from your hips a few inches and open and close your fingers. Wiggle the fingers. Extend through the fingers. Make a gentle fist and rotate the wrists one direction and the other. Bring your hands down. The spine is still at rest here. Just breathe a few times. Inhale and exhale. And now we'll carefully turn the head side to side, focusing on the neck. And come back to center. Inhale, 2 legs long, 2 arms overhead. As you exhale, draw just your right leg in. That left knee can bend if it prefers, or it can stay straight. Inhale and exhale. Just breathe here. Extend your right leg long, arms overhead. Left knee comes in. Extend your left leg long, arms overhead, 2 knees in. And let's go ahead and just roll around and rock on the spine. Just do whatever feels good to you and your spine. Nice little massage here. And then bring your feet to the mat, about hip width, with the feet about hip width distance apart, and let your knees gently open and close. Now we did do Janu Sirsasana, so we are going to try Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined cobbler's pose. Bring your legs close together and start to let the knees open as the soles of your feet come together, okay? Now, if you feel pulling here and this still doesn't feel great to you, then just go ahead and bend your knees back up. If you like being here, then just hang out here. And with your knees either up or your knees out in the reclined cobbler's pose, put your thumb and your index finger together. You've made a diamond shape, and just rest that on your belly and breathe. your knees are wide in your reclined cobbler's pose, start to let them come back up. Bring your hands to your side. And go ahead, everybody, just scan your body and move around. See what kind of movements your body is asking for right now. Anything that it's requesting, any type of move. Start to play with your final relaxation position. Knees bent or legs straight. Realign the body. If the hips are over to one side, bring them back to center. Do whatever is necessary for you to be super comfortable, super relaxed. Find your way to final relaxation. Inhale through the nose, and as you slowly exhale through the mouth, allow your body to melt onto the earth. Your work is done. You're in final relaxation. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your space. Invite a deeper breath. Gently bring movement back to your body. Wiggle fingers and toes. And on your next inhale, extend your arms and your legs long. And as you exhale, draw your knees in. Give yourself a hug. Find your way over to a side. Take a breath there. And come to a nice, easy seat. As you turn your gaze to your own good heart and your bright spirit, thank and honor yourself for your practice. And we thank and honor each other for sharing this time. Namaste.